Well, we are live here. We should be live, hopefully. I'm going to have to check in a moment on YouTube. This is YouTube Live. Remembering who you are. That's why I've jumped on this live stream on YouTube today, to remind you of who you are. Not the physical form, not the memories, the form identity, the costume, the bodysuit. None of that stuff. Who you really are at a soul level. The embodiment of the suit of clothes that you're wearing right now. Before I get into all of this, I'm going to do the normal formalities, tongue twister, that we do at the beginning of a YouTube Live. So like, subscribe, and introduce yourself. I want to hear from you and where you are joining from. Hopefully we've got some of you on live. Oh, hello Janice, great to see you. I wasn't sure if we were, and Soren, welcome to you. I wasn't sure if we were live or not because I'm testing new equipment, bit of a new setup. But I'm glad you can hear me. And if you can hear me clearly and my microphone is good, please let me know in the chat. It's important we get nice, clear audio. Remembering who you are is what we're discussing today. Not the form identity. Not any of the physical. The embodiment, the essence, the spirit, the light in which illuminates and animates your physical form. Now, of course, we forget all of this, don't we? We incarnate, we forget who we are, we forget our soul contracts, we forget our mission, our purpose. A part of the curriculum is to not learn who you are, not study who you are, not find who you are, but it's important that we know that all of the information, all of the answers, everything that you've been searching for externally in the world, in your life through acquisition, can only be found within. And that is a teaching that not only I embrace, but all of the great spiritual masters, from Jesus to the Buddha, to all of the ancient, you can probably hear Louis going off there as someone probably jumped in the lift in my building. All of the great wisdom traditions teach us. All of the ancient cultures around the world are in unison, in oneness, into reminding us of who we are, that the answers are within, that you are spirit, you are life, you are oneness. The same oneness that is pervasive throughout not only this physical universe, but the whole of the cosmos itself. One of our greatest lessons is to remember, and then we start to view ourselves from the perspective of who we really are. Not looking in the mirror, as we've all done, and berating, criticizing ourselves at a physical level. But to understand that we are animating this physical vehicle, costume, and one day we'll discard it when it runs out, just like a vehicle, a car, when it eventually does so much mileage, you trade it in, you get a new one. Exactly what happens to us as eternal light beings, spiritual beings that are part of the family of light. The most important aspect of our remembering is to remember who we are. When you look in the mirror, what do you say to yourself? Do you look in the mirror and berate yourself and criticize yourself and criticize the wrinkles and see only the form? Or do you look straight into your eyes and see the divinity that you are, that is animating that particular form? Something that the Course of Miracles teaches us is that we are all special and at the same time not special. What is that saying? What is that referring to? It simply means that everything in existence is a part of the one infinite consciousness, expressing itself through different manifestations of the divine. The plant life, the sea life, human life, Gaia herself is an expression of the oneness that is not just pervasive here on this dimension, but throughout all of dimensions and throughout all of the cosmos. Now, I'm sure that sounds poetic. However, it is grounded in reality. When you look at quantum physics, quantum mechanics, you understand that our reality is very limited here in the three-dimensional sphere. There are different realities, dimensions that are infinite, that exist beyond space and time. Now, for the purposes of our journey here on the earth, this school, this curriculum we're having right now, we need time and space and form to navigate. Your conscious mind is a tool to help you navigate. But like a computer that gets corrupted through its programming, so do our minds get corrupted through the conditioning of our life. I know I grew up in a pretty traumatic home, and I had a lot of conditioning that said I was stupid, I was dyslexic, I wasn't good enough, I didn't have enough intelligence, and that wired my brain into believing that limited perspective. Through my awakening journey, I've discovered that I am not a disabled individual. I'm an infinite expression of the oneness. The beautiful realization when you have an awakening such as I have had is that when you understand that you are the one infinite consciousness, how are you going to criticize that? I was thinking this the other day as I'm reaching my mid-40s. Some see that as young, some see that as old. I'm noticing the wrinkles, the increase of the wrinkles. I thought this the other day. We look to nature for perfection. What is one of the most beautiful elements of nature? I researched this, and welcome from the UK, by the way. I'll get to your thing there in a moment, because I will have some psychic information or just intuitive information that will want to come through me, as it always tends to do when I communicate. One of the things I researched that is in nature are mountains, and they're millions and millions of years old, and we look at a mountain and most of us look with awe and wonder and majesty at the beauty of it. And yet we look at our own physical forms that are 40 years old, 50 years old, 60 years old, and we berate and criticize them for their effects of lived experience. Do you see how crazy that is? You are beautiful, you are divine, as nature is beautiful and divine, and you are one with all of life. We get caught up, I know, in politics and division and us versus them and a tribal mentality. Doesn't mean we don't have individual contribution and perspective, but we must remember that above all of the division and separation is a oneness that is our true nature. I had this conversation with an individual in Maui. I canvassed the conversation by saying politics is important at one level because it affects us all. It affects how we are governed, how we live in the physical. But if you stay at the level of division and politics and left versus right, you stay in separation. You stay in a separate mentality. The world is not black and white. The world is not left and right. The world is millions of shades of grey. And beyond all of that lies you, the true, eternal, perfect, spiritual one being, in which we are all a part of, which we are all individual expressions of, temporarily housed in the physical, in the three-dimensional. Now, of course, as I said, you will eventually discard that form and you'll move on to the next adventure, bringing with you not your acquisitions or possessions, but the lessons that you have learned for your spiritual growth and evolution. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. We're here to evolve. We're here to ascend. And specifically at this time, not only are we here in a normal curriculum, in a normal training, we're here for an event that has been described as a golden era, a golden age, enlightenment. Some have called it the evolution of a species. Why? Why did we need to evolve? Dolores Cannon taught us why in her books, specifically the 3 waves of volunteers in the new earth, is that Gaia, the planet which we occupy, Mother Nature, Mother Planet, was crying out because of the harm that we were causing. Now, I'm not talking about all of the political elements of this. Specifically, it was about the atomic bomb that was detonated over Hiroshima and Nagasaki in World War II. This sent reverberations into the earth. It sent reverberations into different dimensions. And she gave out a call saying the earth was in trouble. If we were going to continue down this path of destruction, intervention had to occur. Otherwise, it wouldn't have only destroyed this planet, it would have destroyed into different dimensions, other civilizations, other areas of our cosmos. And the call was answered, and volunteers came. Starseeds, light workers, volunteers came to help assist humanity raise its vibration as it is doing. This is why you're noticing all the earth changes occurring, because Gaia is moving into her next incarnation, which is in a higher dimensional reality. We're either moving with Gaia, we're either going with and shifting with the momentum, or we're staying with the familiar, we're staying with the old, we're staying with fear, we're staying with lack, we're staying with limitation. Have you been shifting? I know some of you, Soren and Janice and others, yes, you've been shifting. I've witnessed it. We saw it in Maui with people that attended our retreat. Letting go of limiting beliefs. limiting ideas, taking our eyes off the limitations and putting them on to the true nature of who you are. When you wake up from a dream, probably more like a nightmare, right? Very hard to go back to sleep. And who would want to go back to sleep at such a time as this? A time when a whole planet is ascending into a new consciousness. Now, it doesn't matter who's in the White House. Let's go a little bit higher. We're a bit more mature than staying stuck at the level of duality and politics. Because this arising of momentum does not have to do with humankind itself. It's to do with Gaia. She is ascending. She is moving into her next incarnation. And as Dolores Cannon said, we're either going to shift with her, or I don't like to use this analogy because it sounds a bit derogatory, but she used it, so I'll use it for conversational sake. We're like fleas on a dog that get flicked off if we're not moving with her. So it's not really about a politician or a country or a government or a particular ideology. It's about a energy. Everything is energy, oscillating, vibrating at different frequencies. And the energy of the planet is ascending into her next incarnation. It is happening. You're seeing it with the earth changes. Every wisdom tradition has spoken of this time. Nothing can stop what is happening. Not a president, not a leader, not a nefarious group. No thing can stop what is evolving, what is manifesting. The only thing to question is, are we going through that metamorphosis at an individual level? Are we discarding the old limiting beliefs, the lack, the limitation? It might be self-love for you. It might be money for you. Money is energy. Belief is energy. Everything is energy. Manifesting. Are you raising your energy out of illusion and delusion? And are you fixing your eyes on truth? What is being exposed right now is falsehoods, lies, illusions. And truth is being revealed, not externally, but it's shining forth through the layers of confusion and delusion. The mask is coming off individually, collectively. Who's noticed this with some of our leaders around the world? Australia, the United Kingdom, America. The mask is off. We're seeing clearly through eyes that can see. We see clearly now. And after Maui, boy, do I see more clearly than I ever have before. I don't have to worry about all of the superficiality that comes with social media because I know who I am. And when you know who you are and you unapologetically begin to shine your light, it doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if you're educated or not educated. If you step into your authenticity unapologetically and let your light, your essence, your being shine, you can change the world. When we activate, hello Aaron, by the way, great that you've joined us. Hopefully you're still here on here, Janice. When we awaken, when we heal, when we activate, These really important things that are we guiding individuals to do in Maui, because that is the sacred heart chakra of the earth in my view. Not everyone will agree with that, but in my view it is. And I'm specifically being called to Maui as a powerful vortex to bring people from around the world to help them activate, to heal, to discard what no longer serves, and then be sent out throughout the world to illuminate their communities, their countries, and their sphere of influence. And I believe in this vision because it came to me in such a synchronistic way, beyond anything that I could have imagined or predicted. And although we get fragments of our purpose, sometimes we don't see the full picture when we're going through the challenge or the temptation to be familiar or whatever we've accepted. All right, now I wanted to read that comment before from the United Kingdom, and I can't find it. Oh, here we go. Karen rather. Grand Rising Paul and all from Liverpool in the United Kingdom. My dad just passed. This is divine timing. Your dad, and tuning into his energy. He's guiding you. He's got you. He believes in you. And it's your opportunity to partner with him. You can communicate with him anytime you want. Loris Cannon taught us this. If we ask for their help, boy, do they love to help us. Boy, do they love to intervene. They can't intervene if we don't welcome them and invite them in because of our own free will. I invite you to, Karen, understand that your father has just transitioned into a different dimension, but you can still communicate. They hear you, they love you, and they guide you. I was writing out an email earlier before I started to broadcast this, and I was talking about this with an individual about her ancestors and how they are partnering and helping and guiding, protecting her. And that love that you experience in this physical transcends the physical. It's eternal love. The love that your father had for you, Karen, is expanded. It's not limited anymore to a three-dimensional vehicle, a skin suit. It's expanded and it can reach you. And whenever you call upon your father's name, he will be there to help you. Or it might be upon the great masters, the Buddha, Jesus. Whenever you call on their name, or your guides or your angels, they are there to help you. They want to help you. They love to help you. The problem is we don't ask. And guess what happens? If you don't ask, you don't get. They won't interfere. That is interference. And it's not accepted. That's why we go through so much stuff. Because we don't ask. Try to do it on our own. We're islands unto ourselves. Someone said island there. What's this? Someone said, I've heard the islands are the chakras of Mother Earth. Yeah, I believe that. I reckon you agree with me too, Janice. When I was speaking to an elder, Kale, a native to Maui, he said that the different islands have a different view, but in his mind, Maui is the heart chakra of the islands. I wanted to take that one step further in my own intuitive perspective, is that I believe that it's the heart chakra for the whole Gaia herself. Like I said, not where everyone will have the same perspective, but that's the intuition I've got, and so I go with my own information. What does a heart do? It loves It heals, it inspires. What else does a heart do? It comforts, right? And when you come to Maui, you experience that in a very tangible way, a very potent way. It's no mistake that the great Ram Dass called Maui home. It wasn't a mistake that Wayne Dyer, who embodied the teaching of love and oneness and unity, chose to call Maui home, resided there until his final days, even transitioned into the non-physical from Maui, got his most inspired teachings. He was activated, he was reminded of who he was, even when he walked through the rainforest or walked along the beach during the sunrise or sunset. He got his greatest inspiration to write and to speak around the world. And I've come back with a similar initiation. There's a new level of authenticity. I was able to see the blocks in my own mind, in my own consciousness, that were holding me back. The self-doubt, the inadequacy. I was able to let them go and just identify with, glad to hear these words are comforting, Karen. I'd love to see you in Maui. We're going to do another one in May, isn't it, Janice? Just before the summertime. We got people coming from all over the world. This is just the beginning of something very important. People coming to awaken, to activate, and to heal. It's so important that we heal. I was heavily, I'll share my full story one day, and have been throughout my life, traumatized by this reality, this density. Light workers, starseeds, heavily traumatized through not fitting in, through being the black sheep of the family, through other people's ideas and perspectives and judgments. You're not good enough, you don't fit in, you're wasting your life. And all of that causes a very traumatic response within our conscious self. And in order for us to really help facilitate healing for others, first we as healers, as light workers, as communicators, we have to do the work ourselves. Hello, Tammy, who has just joined from the United States. And so this is why it's so important that we create events, retreats like Maui. It gives people an opportunity to do the work on themselves. And then when they are ready, they can go out, share their testimony, share their experience, and then spread that light. This is how we create a new earth, a new world, which is inevitable. Are you a part of it? Or are you not? Because that is the choice that we all get to make, free will. No good or bad, or it's either we're ready or we're not ready. And being ready is not an acquisition, it's a discardment of what no longer serves you. It's a letting go. Now, to let go is not hard. If I were to drop my phone now, it's not hard to let go. I might not want to. And so my resistance to letting it go, because I don't want it to break, it makes it hard. But the act of letting go is to simply release the grip, and it falls away naturally on its own. The challenge that we face is not it's hard to let it go, but we hold resistance to letting go because of fear. If I drop this, my phone will break and I have to buy a new one. It's all I've ever known is this identity. Or if I start to spend money, then I won't have enough to eat, so I won't waste money, I'm afraid. Or I trusted him in the past and he let me down. And we resist and we hold on and we stay stuck. This is why the age-old message of forgiveness is so important, because it's not about forgiving what they did to you and making it right. It's simply about releasing the grip, the attachment to what they did to you, so that you can go free and that you can move on from the event. That is the true message of forgiveness. That is what Jesus taught us, is to let go. What is it that is holding you back, Tammy, Janice, Aaron, Karen, Soren, anyone else that's joining us live? What is the limitation? Is it a sense of inadequacy? I'm not good enough. This was something, I'll be really honest with you, that I was feeling like I wasn't as good a communicator or as likable as Dolores can, and therefore I kept myself small while I shared others' work, and yet I was being pushed in a different direction. I was being pushed to change and to evolve my identity, my way of thinking. And when I was in Maui, I remembered who I was. Yeah, Janice, powerful intentions, yeah. So all you have to do is remember. We came here to remember. When we incarnated, we forgot who we were. We forgot our soul contracts. We forgot our purpose. We forgot our mission. And now it's the time to remember. And that's why I'm here. That is why Janice is here. That is why Aaron is here. That is why we're partnering and teaming up together. We're helping each other remember who we are. And I will leave you with this, as I always love to say this, as a powerful intention, like Janice just said in the comments, is that this declaration I have been using for years is that the best is yet to come. Your best days, your blessed days, your best experiences, your best aha moments are ahead of you. Use that as a declaration, an affirmation, and watch the synchronicities begin to create your reality, because you're creating your reality with every word, thought, and intention. The best is yet to come.